Hey friends, I'm back with another video, and this one is going to be for complete newbies, someone who's never played Everquest before, and you want to get into the game, but you're kind of overwhelmed because there's so many races, there's so many classes, and you don't know where to begin. You want to find something that's easy to play, but it's still going to be fun. So for you, I would suggest the Barbarian Warrior, and I would also suggest going for Deity Agnostic. Now, not a whole lot of people cover this, and I have hardly mentioned it at all, so I'm going to throw this out there really quick. Deities are important, especially if you are playing on a TLP server. If you are on a server like Verona, where it's just mostly a standard rule set and all the expansions are already enabled, then Deity is a lot less important. But if you are joining a TLP, Deity is important because certain deities are not welcomed in certain cities, whereas an agnostic character can get access to a lot more cities. One example would be a gnome. A gnome mage who is agnostic, can have access to evil cities like Neriak without getting confronted or killed, at least in most parts of the city, because I've done it. I've been a gnome mage who is agnostic and been able to enter Neriak without getting killed. And that could be great because the nearest city from Neriak would be Freeport or Rivervale. So that's a nice little stop if you are visiting Lavastorm a lot to be able to buy, sell, and use the banker. Also, if Kunark becomes available, that's, the first expansion, you can be a gnome mage and agnostic and have access to either the good city of Verona or the evil outpost in over there without being KOS or killed or attacked. So again, being a gnome mage that's agnostic has its benefits, and why I say mage is it is one of the easier classes to play. So if you want to be a magic user, a caster, a mage would be the way to go, especially a gnome mage because they're so versatile. I just want to make sure though you do pay attention to Deity and go agnostic if you want the best experience. Again, because if you are, say, a worshiper of Bralcerillis, well, that is considered being good, and you might not be allowed in the evil outpost of over there, or you might not be allowed in Neriak. And if you want access to those cities, then agnostic is the way to go. Likewise, if you worship Bertoculus, or however you say the name, you're considered evil, and you might not be allowed in certain good cities. They might attack you or hate you. So it is important. And Deity, it's like your god. It's like your religion. And yes, there's gods and religion in Everquest. That's why I say also, if you want to be a barbarian, you could try to be agnostic as a warrior. Now, if you're a shaman, you're going to be worshipping the tribunal, but you can be agnostic. Now, barbarians are considered a good race though, so they still probably wouldn't have access to a place like Neriak or the evil outpost of over there. Another good combo would be to be a dwarf. A dwarf warrior would be a great thing because they're also still considered good. They're welcomed in most good cities. And as a dwarf, you can choose to be agnostic also. Now, dwarves are probably not going to be allowed in Neriak or the evil outpost, but they might be able to find a way to build faction to have access there. I'm not sure. Another great combo would be a human warrior. Human warriors can be agnostic, and as a human who is agnostic, you may be able to have access to both good and evil cities without a whole lot of trouble or getting attacked unprovoked. Again, this would always be dependent on if you've been killing a lot of evil people from that city. Of course, just like if you kill a lot of people from a good city, you're going to get faction hits and they may quickly grow to hate you. So it's like you're not immune to that just because you're agnostic. It just means you're going to start out basically neutral. So as an agnostic human, you could be a warrior. Another great thing as a human is you could be a monk. Monks can also be agnostic, which is kind of crazy. You could be an agnostic human monk, and therefore you're also able to have access to a lot of cities. And a monk, while it does have some nuance and can get a little complicated, it's great for solo play. It's great if you're a newbie, because it doesn't matter if you don't have any equipment or gear, because you don't need it. Your fists are your weapons. They're very effective even at low level. You dual wield at level 1, and I think it's the only class that will dual wield right out of the gate at level 1. And so you don't need a lot of armor, you don't need a lot of equipment, and you're still a very effective fighter. And monks actually have the ability to heal themselves. It's not horribly reliable, and I wouldn't really count on it until you get higher level and build up that skill. It's called mend wounds. But monks can be very good, very hardy, and fun to play in a solo environment. And you could be a human monk who is agnostic and welcome in more cities. Aside from that, I would say gnomes. Gnomes are a great bet as either a warrior or a mage or even a cleric. You can be those, and you'll, as you know, have access to join groups. You know, because every group is going to want a cleric. There's always also a halfling. Now, halflings are considered to be more good, so the chances of you ever being allowed to enter a city like Neriak or the Evil Outpost and over there is slim to none, even if you're agnostic, which you could only be as, I think, maybe a rogue. Yeah, rogue or warrior can be agnostic as a halfling. But halflings make great clerics, they make great rogues, they make great druids also. And druids cannot be agnostic, they gotta worship Karana. So a druid can also be a good starter class if you really want to be a priest and you want to have a lot of versatility and have somewhere where you can sort of expand and grow. And on a TLP server, a druid can be really great to have, because they can heal, they can cast damage shields, they can do hit point and strength buffs, and they can even debuff the enemies a little bit by lowering, I think it's their attack rating. And they can teleport, they can transport their whole group from here to there. A lot of people will start playing druids on a TLP server as a way to earn money, because they can offer teleports to people for donations. So that's how a lot of druids make money early on. So those are some of my suggestions and recommendations. I know I didn't get into any of the others, like necromancers, enchanters, or paladins or anything like that, because I consider all of those to be a little more involved, a little more, I would say, play those once you've played something simple like a warrior or whatever, and you've learned to explore and manage to find your way around the world, because it can be really overwhelming. And remember, if you can, be agnostic, because agnostic players and agnostic characters are going to be welcomed in that many more places, okay? So I hope this helped you a little bit, and I wanted to keep it short. There's just so much I could go into, but this is just like a basic thing, a quick tip of the day for total beginners, for some of the easiest characters to play in the game. I hope this helps you. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and leave a super thanks if you like, which is like a little mini donation if you really liked the video, and it also helps support me and the channel. Have a great day and a wonderful tomorrow.